The new Li Auto Electric SUV is actually extremely good. It's one of the most underrated vehicles that has been, well, not officially released yet in China, but we know some of the details. Here are the details. First of all, yes, it does look a bit like an MPV. However, that's for a good reason. I'll explain why that is, and I think it actually does make a lot of sense. It has up to 720 kilometers of range, CLTC, but from a relatively small battery. And this is a big car. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Great to have you with us. Li Auto, one of the few Chinese automakers, in fact, few automakers in the world to make a profit selling only plug-in hybrids and EVs. They are currently making money, essentially selling cars in China, have revealed this new 7-seat electric SUV. And like I said, it's actually pretty good. It has three options, right? The base model gets 660 kilometers of range. The mid-spec rear-wheel drive gets 710 kilometers. And the long-range rear-wheel drive gets 720 kilometers. They all come with an 87 kilowatt hour lithium iron phosphate battery. So you can see, this is a big car. It's not a particularly massive battery, 87 kilowatt hour battery, lithium iron phosphate, and it's still getting quite a lot of range. Part of the reason is the shape of the car. It looks a bit odd, but anyhow, I'll get to that in a minute. Starting price is said to be $27,900 US, which means it's $10,000 cheaper than a Tesla Model Y. It's about the price of an Xiaopeng G6, the new version. The same price, actually, similar price to also the Xiaopeng G7. I think the G7 is actually the best value EV, family EV in China right now, but this could definitely be a strong rival for that car. The Li i6 is the second EV model and that Li Auto have sold. That's after the Li i8. The i6 is built on a bit more of an advanced platform than Tesla's Model Y. It's an 800 volt high voltage architecture. It gets a 250 kilowatt electric motor. That's 335 horsepower. That's for the real drive version. And there is two weight options. It's 2,380 kilos, so a lot heavier than a Model Y. And it's well, a fair bit heavier if you buy the all-wheel drive version. It's 2,515 kilograms. Performance is actually surprisingly good. I don't know if this is accurate, but the all-wheel drive version, it gets a 150 kilowatt motor for the front in addition to the 250 kilowatt motor in the rear. So total power is 400 kilowatt. That's quite a lot. In fact, that is actually 536 horsepower, meaning it can do 0 to 100 in less than 4 seconds. It also takes 10 minutes to charge the battery, 500 kilometers of range. So you can add 500 kilometers of range in 10 minutes, meaning charging speed is approximately, I believe, around 600 kilowatt. Yeah, that's pretty impressive. So how big is this? Well, actually, it's big, not just on the outside, but also on the inside. It's 4,950 millimeters long, meaning it's actually about the same size or nearly as big as Tesla's new Model Y L. So the Model Y L is quite a large vehicle. It's a 6-seat vehicle, has 3 rows of seats. That was just revealed today. And this is clearly a direct rival. The Model Y L, tiny little bit bigger, but very similar. So 4,950 millimeters, 1,935 millimeters wide, and 1,655 millimeters high. The wheelbase is also quite long at 3 meters. It does get pretty big rims, which I'm not a fan of. 20-inch rims on the base model, 21-inch rims on the more expensive models. I think if you put in on smaller rims, it'd get more range. And that's what I recommend Li Auto do if they sell this car outside of China. So the design is a bit odd. I mean, it looks a little bit MPV-ish, but that is for a good reason. And I think Li Auto have made a very good decision not making this a traditional looking SUV. Traditional SUVs, honestly, traditional ones are just stupid. They are stupid. They're incredibly unaerodynamic. They are just not logical. They're cool. I like them. I like stupid things for some reason, but they don't make sense. Like, for example, the Kia EV9. It doesn't make sense, right? So boxy, incredibly inefficient in comparison to this. The efficiency is enormous, astronomical. Now, I mentioned the Kia V9 because this is almost the same size. It's not much difference in size. It's 100 millimeters, so it's 10 centimeters shorter than a Kia EV9, but the efficiency is literally 40% better. I mean, 40% better. Plus, because this has such a short bonnet, the front of it's so short, the interior space is actually really big. Li Auto are aiming to sell 640,000 cars this year, and it's very likely that they will hit those numbers. That would be a really good year, I think, for Li Auto. They don't sell these cars. They don't sell their cars outside of China yet, but I have heard that they actually plan on doing so. So what about that battery pack, guys? If you're interested, I'll just have a talk about that. It's a lithium iron phosphate battery pack. Most car makers now in China have moved away from NCM or NMC batteries, and they're going to lithium iron phosphate. The energy density is actually quite similar to the energy density used in the energy density in Xiaopeng or Xpeng's lithium iron phosphate batteries. It's about 140 watt hours per kilogram. That's at a pack level. At the cell level, I think it's about 175 to 180 watt hours per kilogram. Now, one of the key reasons why Chinese automakers are using lithium iron phosphate batteries, they last a little bit longer. That's one reason. They're cheaper. That's another reason. But probably the most important reason is they're capable of the kind of charging speeds that consumers want now in China. It's really hard to engineer a car with NMC batteries that's capable, or NCM, I should say, that's capable of charging at 500 plus kilowatt. It's also the longevity of those cars is not going to be great. So that's one of the key reasons why a lot of Chinese EV brands have moved away from ternary batteries, as we call them. So where is this vehicle placed in terms of positioning in the market? Well, the price I said earlier, I don't think that price is accurate. That's what's been talked about by Chinese media. I think this car will be closer to 35,000 US dollars, maybe even more, maybe 40,000 US dollars. But either way, still good value, right? Li Auto said this: "We aim to provide families considering the Mercedes-Benz GLC, BMW X3, or Audi Q5 with an additional purchasing option." Now, this car is a lot bigger in terms of interior space and overall length versus all of those cars. A much better option, honestly. You'd have to be crazy to buy Mercedes-Benz GLC or BMW X3 or Audi Q5 instead of one of these. This is just a much, much better vehicle in almost every single way that you can imagine. Now, as you can see, the interior looks pretty luxurious as well. I kind of like the fact that it doesn't have a big screen right in front of the driver. It just has a little screen sitting on the steering wheel. So that means that when you turn the steering wheel, you're not hiding your screen, which is what happens in a lot of cars. And when you change your seating position, I find it in a lot of cars that have a screen right in front of the driver, like a little screen behind the steering wheel, very common. Most cars have them now. You move your steering wheel, your seating position around, and you can't see the screen. In some cars, you cannot get comfortable in a position where you can actually see the screen properly. So I think putting that little screen on the steering wheel is actually kind of a good idea. That said, I've got to admit that in my Xpeng G6, I can see the screen fine. It works fine for me. So this vehicle hasn't technically been officially launched yet. It'll be launched on the 29th of July. When it is, I'll have a new video up showing you guys all the details, the prices, etc., etc. Let me know what you think about this car. Are you a fan of it? I'm a big fan. I like the fact that it's logical. It has a shorter bonnet. It's aerodynamically efficient. You can see that raked shape of the car. And clearly, Li Auto really focus on aerodynamics in order to get more range and efficiency out of their cars. I think more manufacturers should do this. I think it's a good idea. Let me know your thoughts. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.